And good afternoon. Welcome to today's broadcast of the Warrior Wallet on VRS. We have our two hosts, Andy Belisari with HER Realtors, home realtor extraordinaire, Kevin Moore with Revolution Mortgage, mortgage broker extraordinaire. And today we're going to talk a little bit. We talk a lot about serious things, but today I want to, I've been seeing a lot of these, I don't know, videos about things stupid people do going to, into closings and to buying a house. So I want to say the one that there's two that I've seen recently that I just find utterly hilarious. The first one is this woman is going to go buy a house, and they come into the house and they go into the house and it smells like chlorine or Clorox or whatever you want to call it. And they keep, they go in there to look at the house, and then they want to go in and buy it. Well, they close on the house and they finally get in and they start tearing up the carpet and the floorboards and everything. And what they find out is that inside of it was that they had, she had animals, and they were just, peeing all over the floor, and it turned into a much bigger mess. And that's why, even after the home inspection. And I thought that was funny. I really thought that, that was really funny. The other one was when the guy bought a brand new truck 2 weeks prior to closing. And I thought that was right, on credit, not, So I just think that that's funny. So, people do stupid things. And this is why we have warning labels on toasters. So what I want to just cover today is, some of the stupid stuff that you guys have seen, and, from buyers, sellers, and, what, like maybe what not to do.
Yeah, I mean, once you're in contract and you've got that process started, as far as borrowing money in any way, shape, or form, or even increasing balances on credit cards, I mean, you pretty much just want to stop everything that you're doing. Even large deposits in your bank account that aren't from your job. I mean, you want to be careful with that. VA is not as strict on that as other loan products are, but yeah, you basically just kind of want to put your life on hold for a minute there. I mean, don't go out to the furniture store and start financing all of that stuff. I mean, you got to wait till you close to do all that. So, and most lenders will tell you that. I send something out with when I get in contract with buyers, just telling them, don't open up new credit cards, don't go buy a new vehicle, don't go to the furniture store and start picking out your new bedroom suite and all that. I mean, you just got to put that stuff on pause until you're done. I mean, I had a client the other day. He's never bought a house, obviously, and he pretty much just thought that once he signed the contract that, he could just move right in. And I was like, no, we gotta close the mortgage here first, buddy. So he just didn't know. And I mean, I just kind of take it for granted sometimes that people realize those things. But I mean, if you don't know, you don't know. It's what it comes down to. So he just pretty much thought, he was approved to buy the house. He could sign the piece of paper that says it's his, and then he could move right in. I was like, what do you mean you're moving in? He's like, well, we signed a deal. There's no one living there. I was like, yeah, we gotta close the loan first, buddy. Like, you can't just move in and when you sign the contract. So he was completely oblivious. I'm surprised I haven't ran into that before, but I just thought that was interesting. I don't know. I guess his realtor didn't explain that, and I just kind of assumed he knew that. But yeah, he thought he was signing that contract and moving right in. He just thought it was good to go. So yeah, it's about a 30-day process. I mean, we can move a little bit faster. Some banks take longer. But yeah, you gotta go through the whole mortgage process before you can actually move in. And we ask for a few things. I mean, we're not going to take a blood sample. It might feel like we're going to ask for that, but don't buy anything new. Don't be putting a bunch of cash into your account. Once you're in contract, we just kind of have to let it go and let everything go until we get closed. So yeah, you don't want to open up new stuff. That's for sure.
Right. Yeah. And what about you, Andy? What have you seen that just absolutely floored you that you just could not think that somebody was this stupid?
I just think, well, the one thing I see, and I see it a lot, is as soon as we go under contract, they will put on Facebook that they bought this house, or they will tell all their family members, or they'll say, can we get into my new house? I'm going to bring X, Y, and Z over to see it, all of their friends, their cousins. I'm like, you understand this isn't your house yet. This happens. I would say probably 80% of the time they want to go back as soon as we're under contract with their whole family and show them their new house. And I'm like, okay, so many things can go wrong when we're going through, okay, you have inspection. Is the house going to appraise? There's just so many things in those 30 days that we do behind the scenes as realtors and as in the finance world, like with getting the mortgage done. So that's the thing that just floors me. And a lot of these people have purchased homes before. So I usually tell people, I'm like, you realize this is not your home. We're not going to take your whole family over there until closing. Closing is when you own a home, not when you go under contract. Your offer is accepted. And people get really, they're just like, wait, what? I'm like, no money has been exchanged other than maybe you deposited some earnest money. But it's crazy to me. And it's like, they're all just dumbfounded. The other thing that I've seen recently is just with this winning the bidding war, they think that like they've, been outbid and they finally get into contract on a house and they literally forget that's not the end. Like that's not the end game.
It's an accomplishment though. I mean, you have people that have been putting in offers for months and then all of a sudden they win something. So I can understand that. They feel like they've won that battle, but it's not over yet.
I mean,
it's not over.
I think the craziest thing that I've seen is so now they're doing credit checks for certain cell phones if you want to buy a new cell phone. Have you run into this yet, Kevin?
Yeah, I just had that happen on a refi. And they offer you specials too, where if you I think what they had to do was set up credit through the cell phone carrier and then they got a discount on their bill because it's auto paid. But they didn't even tell me they were doing this.
No,
so, these people changed homeowners insurance on me and they got new cell phones. And so two new credit lines showed up.
Yep.
And all we had to do was get statements showing that they were at a zero balance. But people, and the cell phone carrier is probably not telling you.
That's what happened. That's what happened from my last deal. It was like, she's like, all I did was get a new cell phone. Well, they do it. And so it's things like that. It's like, I have been telling my people, talk to your lender about every single financial thing you're doing during this process, because here's these poor people that have been outbid on houses. They finally get into contract. They're good people. They just don't know. And then they go to try to get a cell phone and then it's going to cause problems with financing. So it's just little things like that.
Absolutely. Those little things can add up too. I mean, cell phones, you can be on a plan and easily be at $120 a month for a cell phone now. And then a lot of people do the family plans too. You can be $200-$300 on those. So yeah, I mean, if it's something like that, I mean, obviously anything that you can wait to do until after we've closed, just wait. I mean, I don't know why these people doing the refi decided to, all of a sudden they wanted to change homeowners insurance and then get the cell phones and all that. But yeah, I mean, it definitely created some hiccups. I mean, usually we can get around this stuff, but if you've got somebody that, went out and did the cell phone or they got new furniture or whatever, and if it's a large amount and something like the furniture, I've had people do that where we actually had to have them return it and they just kind of put it on hold at the store. They had to refund the credit and everything. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of extra work that can easily be avoided. I mean, just wait. And like you said, I mean, if we get down to the point where something does happen bad with the inspection, or maybe the appraisal doesn't meet things and the sellers don't want to budge and the buyers aren't going to bring any extra money, then, if it doesn't appraise, you're not buying that house anyway. If you guys can't come to terms and come to an agreement. So it's it's definitely not over until it's over. And that's, like you said, about a 30-day process. So don't get anxious and jump the gun and buy stuff. You gotta wait.
Yeah, and then the problem is part of the other problem is too is that a lot of one of the things that I've seen is that people just do not they don't talk. They seem not to stay in communication with the realtors and they don't go into communication with the realtors or the the mortgage lenders or any of them, and you need to stay in constant communications.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I try to check in with people weekly. I mean, I've been doing this long enough. I can get a pretty good vibe with people and figure out if it's somebody that I'm going to need to stay on top of, or if it's somebody that has done this before and they're not going to give me problems. But you can usually figure it out pretty quickly in the process as you're working through putting offers together on houses if it's somebody that you got to stay on top of. But I mean, I've had people where it's just things that are common sense, and common sense isn't so common anymore is what it comes down to. So people do all kinds of crazy stuff. They
Yeah.
really do.
And I see also sellers on the seller side, not that it screws up financing, but just certain things with like they want to do things to the property or they want to have this or that. They think, well, we're in the driver's seat, so we can do whatever. We can, I mean, you got little people in the background. It's Christmas break. Sorry.
Oh,
It's
Hey.
all good.
it's okay. I mean, those little people are going to be big people one day, and they're going
I
to
know.
take their old folks
You have to
home.
learn these things.
It's
But
exciting time of year.
yeah, but yeah, I've even had sellers like they want to like take their chandelier. They want to, and it's like I don't think people realize. Then we do a final walkthrough, and the chandelier's gone. That was a fixed object,
Oh
and
yeah,
it,
I've had
and
that
that
happen a few times.
that can kill a deal. The deal
Yeah.
can be done, and it's like I don't think buyers and sellers like realize that once you sign that contract, it means nothing until you get to closing. Like there was somebody in my office that it was $1 million property and it fell out and the deal died because they were fighting over a lawnmower.
A lawnmower. Wow.
And it died. It was just like a month ago. They could not agree on the lawnmower. And the agent finally said, I will buy the same lawnmower for the buyers. And the buyer was so offended, he walked. So it's like, there's so much that goes into it and so many crazy stories and people's pride gets involved. In this one, especially, it's like they could not reach an agreement because they were just being so, both of them were like, not going to budge. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
You got to let it go sometimes, especially when it's an item like that of a couple $100s.
But they wouldn't, and it was crazy. And here's this poor agent, both agents. There's two agents, then there's then there's a mortgage broker involved, and it's like we're all working to get this deal done, and people are fighting over a lawnmower.
Yeah, probably two stubborn people that neither one of them wanted to say that the other person was right, and they couldn't get over it. Yeah.
So it's
stubborn.
It's crazy to see. And that's what I think that people don't realize. It's like the things that go on in those 30 days to get you to closing are, and a lot of deals fall through. Like they just do. That's what people don't realize, I don't think, is that it happens.
Yeah, it definitely happens.
Yeah. Sometimes. I had three this year fall through for extremely silly reasons. One was pet odor on a final walkthrough, and we walked away at the closing table, literally.
Wow.
Pet odor, because they moved the animals out during showings. Then, like idiots, they moved them back in. We did the final walkthrough, and my buyer was, I can't live in this house, and walked.
They weren't able to just do like a deep clean and get rid of it?
She was over the top.
Okay.
But it happens. It's these things happen, and people don't even think about it,
No, I totally agree. Yeah. Some crazy stuff happens in this all the time, and hopefully it's stuff that you can work through. But if you got some stubborn people, then sometimes there's just no solution.
Yeah. And most of it, I would say 80% of the time we can work through it, don't you think? But then there's that 20% that it's like, okay, there's no solution. So,
yeah. It's I think the worst is when you've got these higher offers and the appraisal comes back really short, and the people at that point, they think they got this offer that was $50,000 over the list price, so now they just assume that that's what they're going to get. And if you didn't write in there to have appraisal gap coverage, and if the home doesn't appraise, then you're not going to get that. So then they just want to walk from the deal, and they think if they relist it, that might happen again. And what they maybe didn't realize is there were 4 other people competing, and so if those other people don't come back and you don't get into that bidding war, then your home's not going to go up that high again.
Yeah,
So
it's
yeah,
true. And it's all those things that people just behind the scenes they don't see. And I think I really tried, like you say, you send out something. I really try to educate so we
yeah,
don't run into these things.
yeah.
Once in a while, too, you'll tell people things and they don't remember, or
Oh
they
yeah.
don't listen,
Oh,
or
that
they don't
happens
take
all
it
the time.
serious.
Selective,
Have you ever, let me ask you a question. I
selective
mean,
hearing.
in order to stop this, have you ever thought about maybe coming up with a little index card with a cheat sheet of what not to do?
I have that. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I send that out. We give that out on every deal.
but
It's getting people to actually read it. I mean,
yeah,
that happens with you know, coworkers and friends and whatever with emails. I mean, how many people actually read through their whole email? I saw something on the news the other day. A college professor put in the middle of his syllabus a locker number and the combination, and he put a $50 bill in that locker. And at the end of the quarter, he went and checked it. $50 bill was still in there. So not one student read the entire syllabus.
Wow.
People just don't read stuff anymore.
and a lot of times I find that it's the hardest with repeat sellers or buyers because
Yeah.
they've done it once or
Oh
twice.
yeah, they're an expert because they've bought
But
one.
the market changes so frequently that I'm like, listen, I will say, listen, you've got to pay attention to everything I educate you on, because this market is not like the market you know, 20 years ago when you sold your house or bought your house. And
Yeah.
that's the biggest thing I see is this, they think they're the expert. And it's
Yeah.
like, we're the experts. Let us help you.
That
Because
happens a lot too when you've got
you know?
some buyers, maybe, you know, early 20s or even late 20s, when their parents want to get involved, and
Yeah. Oh,
you know, then that's killed a few deals for me, where mom and dad want to come in and they think they know better, and of course the kids want to listen to their parents. And I mean, I've had plenty of clients just say, hey, you know, sorry, my dad called you or whatever. And I mean, I've actually gotten in arguments before with people like that, and it's, I mean, they're, in their defense, they're trying to protect their kids or whatever, but they really don't. Like, this is the first we're experiencing the crazy stuff in
yeah.
this market. I mean, this has never happened before with these crazy bidding wars and everything going way over list price. So it's new territory for us. So it's definitely
It
different
is.
than it's ever been.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess that's my message to everybody is just we are in this every day.
Right.
Let us help you. Just let us help you. That's all. We're here to walk you through the whole process from start to finish. And I always say no question is a stupid question.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah. I
like
would say that too. There's no bad questions in mortgages.
no, because a lot of times if they think, "Oh, that doesn't really matter. If I get a cell phone, that doesn't matter. If I, you know, like just like sellers saying, "Oh, if I take this chandelier down, that doesn't matter." Oh, it does. Or
Yeah.
curtains, very strange things. I mean, so that's my message is no question is stupid. And you know, that's kind of where we are
Yeah.
as realtors, especially. Like we just want to make sure we answer all the questions we can.
Yeah, and I think the other I think the other part of it is too is the fact is that, you know, when you have unsophisticated buyers, you also have unsophisticated sellers, you know, because, you know, they're, you know, you have people going and buying, you know, you have people selling at houses and they think that, you know, like for example, I've seen them take refrigerators out or, you know, the appliances or stuff like that. I mean, it was like, there was a house, and I got to tell you this. I mean, and when I say who the house, I don't even have to tell you who the house is, but there was a house in Dublin or in Powell, how you look at it. The owner of the house sold it and then took out the crown molding of the house, and the crown molding was worth probably $100,000.
Is it like gold plated?
No, it was mahogany, but it was, you know, they you know, but the house is you know, it's $1 million home, but I mean, you know, they did, that was really stupid of them, but they, you know, the buyers had to sue them, but it was, you know, and the person had actually, you know, they had some money. And the issue that happens with this is the fact that, that you are creating a system where, you know, people just, you know, they just don't think over the, you know, the little things. I mean, and you know, like, you're talking about the lawnmower. These people got into an argument one time with these people where they had a lawnmower. I mean, not a lawnmower, but they had a shed in the back that was, but it was one of those, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, that, $1,500 sheds you buy at Walmart, at Lowe's or that. The people that were buying the house didn't read the fine print, the shed was not part of the sale. So they go in and because I just find things funny. I mean, and they go in and they look at the shed is gone. Now the pad is there, but the shed, is gone. And they were like, they call the real estate agent, and they were like, well, it wasn't part of the property. It was like, what do you mean? Well, it's page 3, whatever. It was like in the contract is that the shed is going with them because it was, and people,
but that's also one thing that I will do when I get a contract from other real estate agents. I've actually asked them to rewrite the verbiage because I'm really, really picky on what I write because I want it to be straightforward, no questions asked. And I'll get some of these agents that write these ambiguous statements, and it's like, this could kill the deal. So I'll go back to them and I'll say, no, I want you to state that the shed color description is leaving with, and that has helped. But then there's other times where you get to 2-day walkthrough right before closing and you go back to the contract and it's a real gray area, and that's how stuff like that happens. And it's like, then you've got a problem. And but that's the other thing. It's like contract writing. It's so important as a real estate agent to write everything in very clear, plain terms, because
right. And here's the thing about one of the things with the contract is that people, I think one of the funniest things I saw, people move into a house, and I think it was like 30 days in, the furnace caught on fire. Something that,
that's not fun.
Not fun, but it was, the dampers on it or something where they had an inspection, and it didn't burn a lot. I mean, it just burned up the furnace. I mean, but it was a replacement value of, I don't know how much the furnace is, maybe 1,500 or, whatever they had to replace it with. But the buyers they were like, well, wait a second. They wanted relief from it. They were like, well, no, you inspected it.
Nope.
You don't get that. A lot of times people are writing in home warranties, and seller pays for those a lot of times. I mean, you can get that in there for anywhere from $400 to $700, depending on the house and the company. But that's not something that's going to be covered unless you're specifically addressing it.
I also have been suggesting to some of my clients that are waiving home inspections, my buyers, I've suggested to them to personally purchase a home warranty to protect themselves. And that's worked out really well in a couple situations. I had one client just recently that to win the bidding war just said, okay, no home inspection, and then purchased a home warranty and has used in the first 30 days, used that warranty 4 times. So So, I mean, there are things, but it's also that goes back to the education. Somebody probably didn't bring it up to them. And so then, if they would have had a home warranty in place, then they would have gotten a portion of that furnace or the whole thing covered, possibly. And so those are those little things that we can help with. It's like, it's just education and conversations and staying in touch and,
Right. And one of the other things too is that, as people, the next year, I think that you're going to have, I don't know what the market is going to do. I don't think anybody knows. I mean, I don't think even, Zeus knows what the market is going to do. So if they, as people are there, I read this and Kevin, you can correct it, or you guys can correct it, but there's more housing transactions than in the past. that people there's more buying and selling than any year. Now it's gone down. Last year it went down because of, for COVID and people didn't buy, but there's less transactions. I think that, I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, I think in 2022, you're going to have a lot more. I think people are going to start getting more mobile in that. But I think what that is that they are going to see some anomalies out there that they probably haven't seen in the past. And when that happens, I think that, you've got to be well prepared.
Oh yeah.
And I think, the other, I've seen some other financial instruments out there that, that banks are putting out there, like, interest only loans with a balloon payment at the end, which, it's not as popular, but they're becoming more and more popular now. And I think when, the banks are starting to change their practices, then it's going to, then start affecting buyers and sellers. And I think one of the other things that kind of is, kind of scary out there is that we're shifting with the employment. I think people are going to, I don't know if the job market is going to keep up with the home buying market, which means that people are going to move for jobs. Dallas Fort Worth right now is the #1 city in the United States for traffic for people moving in, and there are some neighborhoods in across the U.S. that have a declining population. So the next few years are going to be really interesting.
Oh, absolutely.
I agree. I mean, I think I still have a ton of buyers right now that are in need. And so I think things aren't going to change drastically in the first quarter at all.
Yeah, we just have the home shortage here in Columbus. Yeah. I mean, so many people want to move here. There's a lot of companies that are moving here, and there's just a big shortage. So there's more new builds that are trying to happen, and people are also afraid to list their home when they don't have a home to go into. Yeah. And I think when more becomes available, I think people will be okay with going ahead and selling and doing that. But a lot of people they aren't even, I mean, I've talked to people where they just are not okay even listing their home until they find a place. And
right. I agree with that. I mean, I have a couple sellers that need to downsize. I have 2 actually that really need to downsize, and we have looked for a year, and it's like, I mean, it's
just not, is there nothing out there?
Nothing if you want a ranch home that isn't a condo or in a condo association, it's so hard.
Ranches are really hard to find.
Ranches took a break. I mean, they stopped building them for a period of time. And so if you don't want a little cookie cutter condo for your retirement house, it is like, it's so hard to find. So they are building, more ranches now, I feel like.
I've seen that, yes.
Well, do you know why? But the ranches are an appeal to older people because they don't have to go up and down the stairs.
That's
exactly. That's what they want to downsize into that.
Yes, but some of them don't want to go into an EPCON community or, a community that they just don't want the freestanding condos or, they want an established home, but they want a ranch. And it's like, okay, it's just hard. It's just
sometimes the ranches are smaller too. Trying to find like a 2,500 square foot ranch. I mean, that's just really hard to do. I mean, you're talking 1,200 to 1,500 square feet normally for that. And some people for some people that's too much of a downsize, but I mean, it's just hard. The ranches are definitely
and you're having, like I said, one of the things that you're having is that you're having different, millennials are buying, people that are older are, they're doing reverse mortgages. I mean, it's a much different marketplace than even 10 years ago. And now, people are, it just worries me because I think we need, that we're not teaching consumers well enough.
Yeah.
And you're not teaching consumers, you're not teaching, and the other thing is that, I think the other thing is that the fact is that as people are not, I want to say first time home buyers, but people also have you got to manage expectations because there are sellers are let's just say that the market right now it's a seller market. Everybody you put up a house today and by Friday you're going to have 2 offers on it, if not you put up a house in Bexley, you're going to have a house, you're going to have an offer, you might have a curb offer 4 hours later. And now what I've seen is driving around Columbus is the coming soon. And then, and that, and so people just, and I don't know. I think it's the more and more people are educated, the more and more it helps. And that's the, is there, I'm going to put up, for those that are interested, I'm going to put up, hold on a second. I'm going to put up your website, Kevin. And hold on.
Didn't have anybody chiming in today at all.
Well, I think
last week
the loan info. Yeah, I think it's Christmas Eve, and
yeah. I thought there might be more people since people are probably off work, but
yeah,
Christmas is in 3 days. I guess I better
So,
start
I'm excited. I'm not ready.
Yeah, I gotta go shopping.
Yeah. It's coming fast.
I got everybody a surge protector for Christmas in my family.
Did you really?
I really did, yeah.
Why?
Just as like I just always like to do a little like dumb gift to give everybody. It's actually a really nice one though. It goes in the wall outlet.
Oh.
And then it turns, so it's like it turns your outlet into 6. And so
nice.
You plug in a cell phone and then it blocks the other outlets. So it's actually a nice one. But I got one. I was like, I'm gonna get everybody one of these and then probably just give them money or something. I never know what to buy everybody.
So hard. It's a lot, but it's coming.
It is. Couple more days.
Got all these kids home.
Yeah, you're having a little party over there.
Oh, this is normal. Just neighbors in and out, dogs, cat, kids.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, with that being said, we'll see you guys here next week. We'll do it, next Wednesday. Up there is Vet Loan Info is Kevin's site. If you guys are interested in getting a home mortgage, you can talk. He's licensed in every state except I think New York. And if you have any, reach out to us.
Yeah, let us know.
And Annie is if you can reach out to Annie. She's HR realtor in Ohio, but has access to homes all over the U.S. with her network. And so that being said, let us play our then, and we'll be off. And for all you listeners, we wish you a very Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.